take a key location, and it's usually on a crossroad, and it has these sight lines that gives them an advantage. So that's how we it's kind of the backbone to all these maps, and it's really the way TDM actually would work well, because there's no really objective. But once that guy on a third story, pops you, you have a goal in life. You want to go get him, and so we've really built a lot of mechanics around those freestanding buildings.
Secret TDM right there.
Yeah. and do you think, I guess, with this kind of the way you've been looking to design these maps, a lot of talk about the variety of gameplay you're trying to bring to this experience of Modern Warfare. Has that allowed you to reach kind of new heights when you just speak to a variety of gunfights, a variety of action within these maps?
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, what up, Mr. Moore?
Look at our maps from a scale standpoint, where we have the gunfight maps.
Hey, Mr. Moore, let me know if you can hear the the background. If you can hear the stream, okay?
Yeah, and then and then we have a bunch of new mechanics in there, but we also have new ways to play, right? We have the night vision gameplay you saw in the trailer, and that's just a completely different way to engage.
Yo, what up, Ninja? Right? Let me know if you guys can hear the stream, okay? If you guys can hear them talking.
But anyone else in a night vision goggle set and nods can see that laser, and so you have this cat and mouse gameplay, and we've had a bunch of things in the game that really freshen up the Call of Duty experience.
I'm kind of curious, just from the developer standpoint, because as fans and viewers, you don't see it as much, and we don't either from your brains. But when you have a franchise,
I'm hoping for good things.
As long as
I'm hoping for good things, man.
Tried so many different things. What's the process
I
like
want
to try
Call of
and
Duty to do
new
well.
tidbits where you can still surprise
I'm hoping this does
really
good, man. I'm
beginning.
hoping we see something today
each game where I'm like,
that just makes everybody happy.
What the hell do we do next?
Yeah, what do you do next?
But this game we had the opportunity to.
Because I've heard this, like, they're not going to have any
things that they would do, and that is where
any
the night vision gameplay
mini map. I've heard that.
The doors and things like that. We have a big, I guess, a suite of functionality for doors and how you interact with them that really changes up the flow. And you think about it, it's just a door.
But I also think that when you have a franchise that's been around this long, you gotta have so much features and mechanics up in the attic. That was the kind of point of us trying to strip stuff down and really question the stuff that we were putting into it. So every single thing we put into the game, we really looked at, analyzed, tried to make better, or make a better version of that stuff, just to kind of force us to get away from preconceived notions of what Modern Warfare is or Call of Duty is, and just spark new ideas.
And we had a goal with every change we made. We talked about, like, we wanted to add more depth and replayability to each firefight, and that's kind of how we look at each change that we put into the game.
That makes sense. And obviously, when you have a franchise that's been around for so long, you have fan favorite weapons, I'm sure, and it's maybe some new weapons. And that's the one thing from the trailer and playing. There's a lot of variety, a lot of unique different weapons in the game.
Yeah, we have a bunch of classic guns. We have a bunch of new ones, like standard issue guns that the military is using now, and that's how we stay relatable, modern, authentic. And we'll dig into it in a little bit with the gunsmith stuff, but we also stripped our weapon systems down completely.
Oh, they got gunsmith? Oh, shit!
Travel through the world. And to add more depth.
Projectiles?
Yeah, we added projectiles.
All right, gunsmith confirmed.
We did it in a way that in close quarters it still feels like Call of Duty, feels really tight. But then when we have our big battle maps, and you have these long-range engagements, there's this new layer of depth of, like, do I have to leave my target a little bit? What caliber weapon am I using? Is it going to penetrate this surface? And so we feel like we've really elevated Modern Warfare.
Well, when it comes to the weapons, and one of the key things I think with any Call of Duty title is kind of the progression, right? As you unlock different attachments, whatever it might be. How is this going to work? Because one of the things that's been highlighted a lot has been how it all kind of works together, right? This unified progression. Joe, can you speak to that within Modern Warfare?
Yeah, I mean, we really wanted to, what was the saying that our creative director said? Like, continuity and consistency was one, right? We wanted, the guns that we were using in the campaign to feel just like they did in multiplayer and in Spec Ops. And then when you're talking about progression, we didn't want, people to be like, I'm a Spec Ops player, or I'm a multiplayer, MP player, or I'm a campaign player. We wanted you to be a Modern Warfare player. And so when you're playing with your weapons in Spec Ops and you're actually progressing through Gunsmith and unlocking attachments, that correlates or translates right back over into.
That's very cool.
That's awesome.
What was the saying
very cool.
I like that a lot.
It's worth mentioning. One thing that we found out yesterday: there's no season pass this year. How is that going to work?
It's going to work
great.
Yeah.
No season pass.
It's going to be awesome.
Good.
Well, that's the big thing, right? Everybody, in preview,
no season pass.
Gotten the map pack here, and he's gotten the other one.
Right,
everybody just starts kind of deviating. We want to keep everybody together. We want that content to be there for everybody, and continue it on through seasons as we go.
And when you say there for everyone, you mean free?
Yeah.
It's completely free.
Free content.
Yes.
I like that.
Free.
Free for everybody.
So no season pass.
No,
okay.
that is fantastic to hear. But no, it's been fantastic. You guys aren't off the hook quite yet. It's been great, kind of diving into the high level.
No season. How y'all feel about that? No season pass.
Of the end game and how stuff's going to play out. We want to get into creative class. I'm going to introduce Ashton Williams. She's going to be with us from Infinity Ward as well.
I'm actually shocked about that. No season pass.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm super. I am doing absolutely fantastic today. I'm very excited for a glorious day at Modern Warfare.
I mean, I'm surrounded by streamers. I got Doc to my right over here. We're showing multiplayer.
You've got Courage close to you, though, and he's one of the loudest human beings on the planet, so I'm hoping that you're going to be able to get through. Hey, Jack, what's up, buddy? I don't know who thought it was a good idea to put him up front. I thought he'd be like in the back pocket, like out deep.
We're going to hear him all through today. But
I still don't think he was a good idea, man, to put on thing in it, though. He's just
the operators, I think that's the first thing you have to decide, right?
Yes, I mean, the operators are purely to make you feel like a badass when you get into the game. So when you first load up, you'll see we've got back to the factions. So we've got the Coalition, respectively, on the west and the Allegiance on the east. And so you can kind of see my default kind of strike team here. And as you go in and actually select your operator, you can get a little... And this, I mean, obviously we have some stuff locked here, but I'm gonna roll.
Now that guy looks like a badass.
D-Day.
You think there's a cash and no season pass? Well, we'll see.
Yeah. So my two favorites.
As of right now, there is no season pass. All free content.
I mean, look, he's got a tactical poncho.
Is that what that's called?
That's yeah. Before I get yelled at by Joel, it's not a cape.
It's not a cape.
It's not a cape.
Not a cape. Tactical poncho. But
it's a tactical poncho. Get it right.
The actual create a class system.
Get it right.
This is where things get really, really
interesting. I hope the stream looks clear too, man.
I
hope it looks clear.
Pick 10 is no more.
Yeah, we wanted to keep it simple.
Okay, no more pick 10.
And as Jeff said, we wanted to kind of move our complexity into
no more pick 10.
The front, like if you want to have a tactical, you always have a tactical. You always have a lethal. You're always ready for that.
Yeah, we're just trying to pick where the complexity is, and so we're not asking too much of the player. And we want them to kind of really dig into the weapon and focus on that. So.
Well, where a lot of the customizable options comes is the gunsmith, and Ashton's going to hop in there for us. So this is new, and this is wild, and this is awesome. Can you guys kind of talk to me about what is
That's
special
what I'm finally happy about.
Cool about the new
gunsmith we could put things on any gun we want, not that Black Ops 4 nonsense, man.
Realized that your weapon is the main character in MP, and it's what you use to interact with our world, and so we kind of just went. Put all our chips in on
that
means
nade spam?
We had to convince the studio of,
you can put a grenade launcher on the bottom of your weapon. Oh my god.
We're averaging 30 to 60 attachments per weapon.
Yeah.
The 30 is on the pistols. Is a little
30 to 60 attachments per weapon.
But you just use the weapon and they unlock. And
to clarify, for example, if you were to pick the AK-47, right, you can change that. Like, for example, you take the stock away, all of a sudden you have the AK-74U.
Actually, you can do a caliber change, short barrel, and get the AK-74U, and then you can actually do a drum mag, long barrel, muzzle brake, like ACOG, and make more of an RPD. Like, you can really, like, the guns are really flexible.
Well, Ashton, what have you been building over there? What's your go-to?
I mean, I'm an AK player, an AR player. I mean, we do have an AK on here. So I'm just making kind of a newbie class.
A drum magazine on the AK.
Jump to that pistol that you have on that loadout.
Wow.
And then go into gunsmith.
It's the little things, man. The little things, Ninja. The little things, man. That's one thing I don't like about Black Ops 4 is that you're limited in how you can customize your weapons.
You actually have perks.
Like you can't put suppressor on certain weapons. You can put rapid fire on certain weapons. Nah, let me customize the way I want to customize, not the way you want me to
physical
customize
attachment on
it.
everything,
So
but you'll find
I'm actually glad to hear that.
Like
I'm glad to hear
fire
that.
select stuff in there, caliber changes.
That's one thing I didn't like about
we don't
Black
want to
Ops
make
4.
something up, right? Like here's this knob on the side of the gun and it does this. So we wanted to have some things that were functional that weren't represented, but everything else, all the other slots, every piece is there, and we actually built all of the functionality based on real life, how it would affect the gun.
I feel like I'm going to be like Tony Stark at Destiny. The stuff that it looks like I'm going to be able to do with this, like just endless hours of customizing and finding the best setup, what you really like to use. It's sensational stuff. But I do want to chat then a little bit kind of about tacticals and lethals. So you mentioned when it was going away from the pick 10, one of the core things you wanted here was to make sure you had that lethal and tactical. We'll start off in the lethal side of things. It looks like mostly fan favorites from the overall series.
Molotov,
the Thermite's a good one. Yeah, the Thermite's a good one because we have vehicles in the play space, right? You saw in the trailer we have that light tank, and like the Thermite's great. It's a fun tool. Throws kind of like a throwing knife.
That looked painful.
And it sticks, but it burns right through vehicles, so it's a great counter to that.
Try to land one on a chopper that flies by.
Yeah.
You said that with a smile.
I know the one thing a lot of people keep saying that there's no mini map in this Call of Duty.
Moving forward towards tacticals, I know you have a fan favorite one here. It's what, the snapshot grenade? How do you even come up with this idea of a snapshot grenade?
This was a funny story. It's actually my son got a toy. It was like a little ball, disco ball with a stick and 2 blades, and it actually will sense the ground and not land, so it just kind of floats there. I actually the next morning ran and kind of snuck in and did a tactical door breaching. We'll talk about it. I threw it into Joel's office, freaked him out, and said, "Hey, let's do this." And so it actually goes in, it flies up, and kind of takes a snapshot of the room and does thermal imaging. Yeah. And this is kind of an evolution of the concussion grenade giving you those hit markers. Yeah. So it just gives you that quick read.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And then what do we have as well? Let's talk about the perks. So perks are obviously back in the game. You talked about perks on weapons. This will be more of your standard perks. And double time, one of the new ones, because there's
EOD,
some changes right to the sprint options within Modern Warfare, correct?
Yeah. So what double time does, there is a big change. Double time, early on we were like, do we do unlimited sprint? Do we do sprint with a cooldown? And in the end, we ended up with unlimited sprint. Feels good. It's user friendly. But
Ghost,
we still wanted that kind of like tactical boost, that way to get from one piece of cover to another really fast. And so we added a thing called tactical sprint. Okay. And if you're moving forward and you click the stick twice, your gun actually comes up to signify that you're not engaging in combat. You're just sprinting. It allows you to move really fast for a short amount of time. And then
it's a risk reward, right?
It's actually the oh shit button.
Yeah.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah,
Just run away. But kind of moving forward from perks, the thing that excites me the most.
I want to see the streaks. I saw people leak like images of the streaks. Yes, exactly what I just said. I want to see kill streaks.
A whole different host
Let's
of
go.
here, and some of them very, very exciting. Of course,
Care
the Juggernaut we saw in the trailer.
Cluster strike.
That is badass. And I think you guys in rehearsal were telling me that there's like music that plays as well when you're in the Juggernaut suit.
So Juggernaut is 15
so
kills.
You hear metal music in your ears,
just cool.
And it's just like
That's cool.
Such a fun kill streak. It's just your moment to just be like, F you, everybody.
Well, that's part of why I love that kill streaks were back. Like, when I get on COD, I want to go in, I want to dominate. It's about me dropping stats, dropping numbers, earning streaks, and this is one that'll be fun.
There's actually a funny thing. This actually plays in 3D space, so it'll sound like somebody's listening to like music out of headphones. Yeah. So you actually be able to hear like the music coming out.
That's so cool. I love that. And then the other one as well that we wanted to touch on was we saw it again in the trailer. Is like the tank.
Yeah, the light tank, the IAV. And this was another thing we pushed for to get kill streaks into the play space, and this is a cooperative kill streak. So one player mans the tank and the main cannon, and another player's up on top manning the 50 cal.
Okay, so you need
and some of our bigger maps you can play
these
this.
These are only on some of the maps, and if you have it equipped,
bullshit.
then we
Are you
on a
serious?
smaller map, we'll swap you out
Hell
with a
nah,
smaller
Brett.
one we call the Wheelson.
Yeah.
Where did you see that information
I
at?
like the big
the
one.
ninjas going in the mixer.
In the trailer, that did some serious.
That'd be
You
a
like to go
big
big,
move for
Absolutely,
mixer.
of course, man. You know that.
Oh, I'm gonna dominate.
I definitely want. I want to get away from streaming on YouTube, so I'm trying to find out.
It's been very cool to have Ashton kind of showing us
trying to
through
find
the actual
out
setup
where
of
I
it, but
wanna
I'd love
go.
to actually hop into a game if we could.
I really want to get away from streaming on YouTube, so I'm like,
within the
do I want to go
actual
to
game, I
Facebook
believe
Gaming?
we're going to be
Do I
hopping
want to go to
into
Mixer?
headquarters is what we're
You
going to
know, do I
start
want to
things
go
off
to
with.
Returns.
Yes.
You brought
check his
headquarters
Twitter?
back.
Yeah.
Well, with all this work in the kind of freestanding buildings, and we'll
Yeah, I really want to get away from streaming on this platform, on YouTube. Right now, I'm live
being
on.
able to defend
I'm live on
interior
YouTube.
space gives us that kind of Black Hawk Down, last man
YouTube,
standing.
Facebook,
because
and
with
Twitch right now.
headquarters, of course, the defending team doesn't respawn, so it's down to we show you how many are left.
Hold on,
and
let me go
it
check
gets
out
really
Ninja's Twitter.
high tension.
Before we dive too much into the new tactics and elements in the game, can we just talk about how goddamn beautiful it is? I mean, the big push before this, it's a new engine, right? Can you kind of talk me through what goes into that? Like, what is going to stand out to the new player that gets Modern Warfare?
I mean, we use a new technique called photogrammetry, and what we do is a lot of the art in our game is actually scanned, 3D scanned from real-world objects. We go like our.
You keep bringing me closer
That's
to Tony
a
Stark
big
stuff.
move.
Every time you come up with these things.
It's crazy. The whole process has changed, right? Like artists would sit in a room and they'd art
That's
a
a big
character, but
move.
now
Ninja
we
going
have
to
whole,
Mixer.
wardrobes that people wear, and like people drive along the road and they find like a burnout car.
Yeah, that's
like,
gonna be big for
Mixer.
Mixer.
Awesome. Come here.
That is gonna be big for Mixer.
So cool.
Yeah, we'll take gear and we'll actually.
I
throw
might
it in the
even
pool
go to
for a
Mixer.
while. It gets like
Right
warm,
now,
beat up,
right
and
now
then
I'm
we'll
really
scan it, so it looks
between
more
Mixer
grounded and real.
and Facebook Gaming.
And a lot of that
Because
didn't
Twitch
go
is
into,
too
we touched on a little bit
saturated.
earlier, like the realistic
YouTube is
environments.
not
Was
really a good place
part of
to
the
stream.
process as well,
So,
or how did you guys get
I'm
into
between
make
those
these
two
look so
platforms.
realistic and so awesome?
Yeah, it's actually scanning real-world things. We scanned old burnt-out cars, these little rubble piles, and we kind of have to work that in. And it was actually a big task for the art department to kind of have
Yeah, the mini-map is a compass.
flow.
Hey, we got all these pictures.
There's
you
no
guys
more
are gonna have
mini-map.
to create all of this.
Yeah. So that took a little while for us to
No
kind of
more
get up
mini-map.
and
You
kinda
gotta look at
used
the
to that
compass
system
up
and
above.
really get rolling.
Like how Battle Royale games
Oh,
are.
Ashton, come on.
One of the things that I do want to
Ashton, your job's on the line here, just FYI.
way to put pressure on her here, Maven.
Well, I'm just letting her know she won't have a job anymore.
On the fly modifications, you can, I believe, what is it? When you die, you can.
It's all
actually
a
go
business.
To where you're. Your class
Mixer
and
probably
modify
offered him a
things right
hell
there
of a
and then.
contract.
You can edit it all in game.
Mixer definitely offered him a hell of a contract to go to
actually
Mixer.
Swap out next time you die.
Okay.
You can swap out any weapons. Early on, we were kind of
I
unlocking.
might even try
attachments
that.
really
I might try that
fast.
today.
Really fun to just
I
unlock.
do want to stream today later on this evening after I pick up the kids from school.
Where that started.
So we might stream on Mixer and Facebook Gaming today. I'll probably just put up a video and sit up live.
Test it in game, and it just was this kind of cool, like I can hot swap things out.
It feels like there's just like a weapon playground now, like between the gunsmith and the game. Like it's nuts.
One thing we didn't mention when we're going through the creative classes is field orders. I saw Ashton actually got the field orders.
Field upgrades.
Field upgrades. Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about what they are and how you came to bringing that into the game?
Sure. Go.
Yeah, so we like the idea of the reward that players got kind of regularly. But we didn't want it to be like this kind of like I win button. Like, okay, it's super weapon clock.
I got this.
And
So I win now.
We looked for things that would help players support their team for the most part. It's not true for everything, but we have like the tactical cover.
Oh yeah, of course.
We have the trophy system.
Yeah, they had to give him it had to been something to walk away from his Twitch channel.
On the top
had
of
to
the
been a
cover,
big
the side gives you a
contract.
significant recoil bonus.
Just like the Market J. The Market J got a big contract from Facebook Gaming. That's why you don't see the Market J stream on YouTube. He only streams on Facebook Gaming.
We unlocked a pro functionality for that lets you bring in two. And so in the moment, in the match, you get to choose between these two. And so you might have an offensive field upgrade, like say a scout drone that goes up and actually scouts for your team to scout an objective, or you might have a trophy system. And so in the moment, you're like, am I in headquarters? Am I defending a point or assaulting a point? Let me choose.
It gives you that
But
variation.
yeah, even earlier today, I was thinking about I was talking to my fiance about it. And I might just end up focusing only on Mixer and Facebook Gaming, and then try to bring videos to the YouTube channel.
If your buddy, and this takes teamwork, if your buddy puts out a recon drone, you can throw C4 on it.
Stop.
Yeah.
You can finish the rest of it.
Yeah. You can
That's awesome.
Put two and two together.
No, that sounds epic. And
we have to get our chemistry.
Oh no! What's going to happen is I'm going to put the C4 on, and then you're going to fly it into me.
Probably, and then we're both going to die.
Well, can we talk about some of the maybe new combat?
One thing I can see already, because of there's no mini map, I can already see that it is going to be a lot of camping.
A little bit, because I remember the first time I was first hearing about it, because I hit up. I think I was talking to somebody at Infinity. Like, you tell me some new stuff in the game. He looks at me and goes, doors. And I was like, what? He's just like, doors. I was like, all right.
There's a lot of like.
But there is a very new feature that's very interesting and provides some kind of wild circumstances.
Things that the people who watch your stream can do and can interact with you.
Early on, we put doors
that no other streaming platform basically has.
Firefight. We're like, that's kind of cool, but they felt really, really basic. So we started to layer in kind of this experience, these new features. So we have a peek mechanic to let you saw it in the trailer, open a door slightly, throw a tactical in, and then you can melee the door, go in and clear them out.
They came in, took out the whole team.
And then we did some breaching, and we're like, okay, what if explosives?
There's gonna be a lot of camping.
So players can
either
throw C4.
There's gonna be a lot of camping. Honestly, I can really see that. I can really see that right now. It'll be a lot of camping.
And then we had a bunch of players, whining about like it's affecting the flow of the map. Like this isn't how the map was built.
You can stream on Twitter as well.
Allow you to sprint through doors. So we have this kind of like suite of functionality around doors.
So you can be sneaky, or you can just be loud.
Yeah,
yes,
well,
exactly.
It's actually funny on this map on SD. One of the bomb sites is in this apartment building around the corner, and you can actually stack guys up on a double door. You can put a sniper.
I really hope the stream is nice and clear, and you guys can hear it good.
And then like
my voice and their voice is not too overpowered.
Will open the doors. You can snipe the guy that's probably going to be camping in the back, and everybody can kind of go in, and it's really fun.
I like that a lot. And of course, we saw Ashton doing a little bit of weapon mounting as well.
Yeah.
But it's really kind of more specific. It isn't necessarily just like leaning.
Yeah, we didn't want the kind of like head glitchy kind of scenarios you get from like a lean anywhere mechanic, right? We don't want those sliver shots. And so, but we really like the idea of bracing your weapon on surfaces. I mean, we talk to soldiers, that's what they do. You're carrying a big heavy gun, you want to stabilize that gun, or
sure.
Those guns are actually they're pretty heavy.
So, no, there's a perfect example.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Ashton, you're on point.
Thank you, Ashton. You've been on point. You're going to get to keep your job. You've been good enough that I've been impressed with what you've been able to do, but thank you so much for walking us through the creative class, showing us some of the combat mechanics
from the game. Game looks good so far.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Just from what I can see so far, it looks good.
One more thing we should also point out that is for development for the past 2 years, we've always had this outline around squad mates, and it actually was broken in this build. but it's really important for our teammate awareness of spatial awareness of where they are. That didn't make this build, but we'll be putting out some 4K footage of gameplay after. It'll be in there. It'll also be in the beta.
Awesome.
So.
Like that a lot.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you
so
coming
we are getting a beta.
about some of the
beta
mechanics
confirmed
within Modern Warfare. Anything you want to say, maybe to your coworkers, fans, before you head out?
Yeah, we would like to say that we're lucky enough to be the ones up here kind of presenting this game, but there's a whole studio of people that really put their heart and soul into this game, and it really means a lot to us. So thanks for checking it out, and hopefully everybody has a good time.
Honestly, thank you for joining us as well. The game we played, it's fantastic. Looks brilliant as well. You've done a really good job. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Joe, Jeff, thanks a lot. But, guys, before we get further into the show, we have a lot more to show you. Upcoming, we are going to show you the Dark Edition coming for Modern Warfare. Let's take a look.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. The Dark Edition. Let's go.
Joel, you're my favorite person.
Yeesh. I got that shit pre-ordered already, baby. I got it already.
Welcome back. How awesome do we look?
Got my posters already, baby.
These
posters right there, man.
Vision goggles, and I need everyone at home to realize
that's what I was waiting for.
These actually,
what was going to be the Dark Edition?
These work.
I wanted for Christmas for years of my life to have night vision goggles, and now
are amazing.
Thank you so much to Joel Emsley, who
All
has
your
joined
dreams
us.
can come true now.
I have wanted these since a child, and you have made this a reality.
Real night vision goggles. Yes, I'm getting them.
You never have to be
excited.
afraid
I'm
of the
already
dark
pre-ordered
unless
it,
your
man.
enemies have these.
Joel, I need you to realize I'm taking this home with me.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
We'll be all right.
I don't care if it is okay with you. I'm putting one of they're coming with me.
They look great on you guys. It's a great accessory.
Does I look badass?
It puts the entire ensemble together.
How did
you look tactical.
You don't typically see somebody in a button down in night vision. Now you have.
You have to dress it up a little bit, dude.
Well, you talked to me a little bit about your role at Infinity War with the upcoming Modern
The
Warfare.
last time I wore those things, I was in the Army. I don't know if you guys have ever.
Long ago when we
did
Modern
Warfare
Warfare 2, we did night vision.
That's just when you're outside playing, man.
That was like almost 10
I
years ago.
was worn them when I was in the Army.
So when we went back to reimagine Modern Warfare, we knew that night vision was going to play a big role, and we decided to go after this again and see what we could do now. 10 years later, you can the tech is just crazy. These things are incredibly functional. We designed them to be our own part of our own universe. The labels on here are from a manufacturer that exists in the Modern Warfare universe. It's like a XRK it's a weapons manufacturer that does optics and stuff and gunsmiths. So it all ties together. We put it in the game. You see them wearing. Captain Price is actually wearing these. They're all over the place, and then we took them into the real world and made them work.
Because obviously the night versions of the maps, that's where these actually come into play, and that's what you're seeing here. I'm just so impressed that you actually managed to make these. How did that process even begin?
What?
How do you even say, all right, we're gonna make night vision goggles? Yep, that's what we're gonna do. How does it start?
It was fun. I mean, you start with an idea, and Nick Levisis is the designer at Infinity Ward, came up with a design, modeled them out. Handed them off to, that was the design phase for the physical. And then we actually handed off to Jeremy Thurman, one of our artists, and he actually took that version and put it in the game. So it kind of went two ways, went into the universe of the game, and it went out into the real world. So
because we should say the Dark Edition, you get
you actually
get. Just funny about what's in there.
We were doing rehearsals yesterday, and we're in it, and we're going through the script, and I'm like, we're talking a lot about these night vision goggles. I'm like, these are so cool, but what does this come into play for the Dark Edition? Then you're like, oh, you get them. And I was like, what?
Yeah, there's a whole basically almost a collector's edition.
Look at this! This has got to be
great stuff.
This has got to be the coolest edition of a game ever. It comes with
you got a night
vision goggles.
And I want to point out that
the steel book and all that stuff.
The operators, if I'm not mistaken, the all gillied up pack and even all of them, that's some old school operators right there.
We went back in the archives. The original ghillie suit was made by Emilio Cuesta, and I phoned him up and I said, do you have the ghillie suit that you made for Call of Duty 4? And he says, yeah, I got it. And I'm like, can you send it to him?
Oh, that is so cool.
Let's put that in the game. And then Crew Expendable, All Gillied Up, and Warpig are actually, they're all pulled
You know what?
from
That
Call of
actually
Duty
might
4,
work.
the original props
Wearing the
went into
ghillie suit
warehouses
in the
and got
game
that
in
stuff
certain
going.
spots
So,
in the game, if you lay it down,
it's pretty
might
cool to bring
disappear.
them into this game.
That is absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think pretty cool is putting it lightly. This is
Being the
one
fact
of
that
the
there's
more
no,
awesome things I've seen.
there's
I'm
no
not
mini
kidding.
map.
This is coming with me, and I'm going to wear it
Now
everywhere.
you can hunt varmints in your
Imagine,
backyard.
I'm just going to walk up to like a McDonald's drive-through with this on my head. Like, I'll take 2 double cheeseburgers.
Yeah, and for safety, they fit on tactical helmets and all that good stuff. So they're pretty versatile, and they work great. They have a short range and a long range setting.
That's incredible.
Automatically, we'll switch to night vision. It'll pick up light, all that good stuff.
Well, and you saw at the bottom of your screen for just a moment there, but you can pre-order now at CallOfDuty.com. So if you want to get the Dark Edition, if you want to have night vision goggles and be as cool as Ben and I just were, you can do it.
I can't wait.
CallOfDuty.com.
Stealing these or permanently borrowing, Joel. Hopefully that's good.
Yeah, I think you can get away with it. If you run fast after this, those guys won't catch you.
I'm not very fast. I am not very fast. So this is awesome. This is very cool to see in the Dark Edition. Obviously amazing. Thank you so much for the insight on what went into kind of bringing these into the game and into the Dark Edition. But thank you, Joel, for joining us. Very, very cool. Thank you for designing these. And I do, as we say farewell to Joe, I kind of want to recap what we've been discussing. In case you're just joining us, let's go through sort of a quick rundown of everything we've just seen and discussed so far. So if you didn't see the trailer, you got to check it out.
Okay, so the beta is open beta.
Also, for the multiplayer open beta, that is coming later this year. This fall, it's going to have crossplay. It's going to be incredible. Ben, we're going to spend a lot of time in the open beta.
Crossplay? Okay.
Crossplay for the open beta. That is going to be fantastic. We also talked a little bit about Gunsmith, all kinds of customizable weapons, as well as a ton of new maps.
And there's going to be an ongoing stream of free updates. So no more DLC, free content following the launch this fall, which I think everybody is very pleased about. That's awesome to see out of Infinity Ward and the next upcoming title for Call of Duty. And then the Dark Edition, which we just showed you. It comes with a set of night vision goggles, which we have in front of us. Look at these puppies. Pre-orders are live. You can get hooked up at callofduty.com. But we're moments away from the gameplay. So what this is all about, obviously, we wanted to have some time with the developers talking about the game and everything we're excited about and kind of where their thought process was behind the development of this. But we have, 36 streamers here from across the world.
Yes.
That they're going to be throwing down on Modern Warfare.
Yes, our close friends who I personally can't wait to roast. But I mean, it's going to be insane. We talked a little bit about crossplay, obviously, and we'll see that. We'll see that as well. A couple of guys playing on PC, a couple of guys playing on console.
But first up, how we're going to show it off is going to be 6v6 gameplay. So we're going to see 4 new maps in a variety of modes, along with a special night version of one of those maps. Later, we're going to ramp things up with a couple of rounds of 10 versus 10, and then ramp it up and stop it. How do you feel about 20 versus 20? It is going down. We'll get into a couple rounds of serious team deathmatch on the large scale with 20v20, and we'll wrap it all up by showing off the gunfight mode with a bit of friendly competition in a 2v2 exhibition bracket. So yes, it's friendly. These guys, they know each other, respect each other. But to wrap up the stream, they're going to be going at it, Ben.
I've been thinking about doing it, honestly, guys. Getting a vertical monitor. You can do a lot more
from all of our
with that vertical monitor.
You're going to see the best of all the action right here. Trust me, this is
I ain't gonna lie.
It absolutely is. But before we get into that gameplay, the final bit of business I do want to get to is on a more serious note. The gameplay is incredibly important, but we would like to introduce you to a vital and inspiring charity that's helped veterans secure a high-quality job after their military service, and that is the Call of Duty Endowment. We're finding a high-paying, fulfilling job once they leave the service. It's a huge challenge for vets and their families. The Call of Duty Endowment has funded the placement. Ben, it's been more than 60,000 veterans since it was funded in 2009.
Yeah, it's a lot, and their current goal is getting 100,000 veterans back to work by 2024, and it can only happen if the Call of Duty community helps as well.
The only thing that they said the DLC will be free,
goes
but I
towards
don't know
helping
about
vets
new
in
weapons.
both the U.S. and the UK.
More likely, probably weapons
that's
will be behind
very, very
paywall.
important. And now you have to love it. This dollar, every single dollar, 100% of your donations goes directly to endowment grantees. Everything directly to them.
And this is a tangible way to say thank you to our servicemen and women for their service. You can find more ways to help out at callofdutyendowment.org/help and follow them on Instagram at Call of Duty Endowment. But it's a fantastic cause. If you can be involved, please do. Yeah. But this is how the Call of Duty Endowment works, by getting our vets to work. Let's take a closer look at this amazing organization and their mission.
I appreciate you guys coming in, though. Appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out with me, and watching the stream with you, man. You guys could be anywhere, but you're watching me. I really appreciate it. And let me know, guys. Today would y'all see me stream Apex Legends, or do you want to see some Black Ops 4 gameplay? Do you guys want me to play some Call of Duty Black Ops 4 today? I have not played Call of Duty in over a month, but let me know which one you want to see today. After I pick up the kids, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay live on this thing until about 2:30. With this, probably like an hour more. I'm gonna go pick up my kids. Now I gotta go to 3 different schools today. I gotta go pick up my son from one school, my youngest from one school, and the oldest, she's at the high school. Come back, pick them up, come back, and then my fiance gets off at 5, so I won't go live until about maybe 6 o'clock. But I want you guys to follow me on a new journey. I want to stream on Mixer and Facebook Gaming. I'm not going to stream on YouTube anymore. I'm just going to probably put up a video saying I'm live. But I really want you guys to follow me over in this new journey over on Mixer and Facebook Gaming.
Going dark.
And YouTube will just be for straight videos, you know. And my streaming days will be Thursday and Fridays. Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday, but definitely Thursday, Friday will be the stream days. Alright, so we got drones, tanks. This is probably the campaign what we're seeing right here. Gun runner. Oh, Juggernaut! I wonder how that's gonna work, because they said you do hear some heavy metal music when you have that streak. I wonder if you're gonna get copyright strikes for that, for having that music playing. Yep, Metallica. I wonder how it's gonna be, because they said that are you gonna get copyrights for having that when you call in the street? What the hell is this? So I gotta start drinking more water, boys, because next week, my fiance and I, we start our gym journey, man. So no more soda. This is like my last week I can drink soda, like forever. So it's my last week of soda, donuts, anything like that, man. So I gotta enjoy it. I gotta drink as much soda as I can. You know what I'm saying? Because after that, it's nothing but water, and we're buying this juicer. We're going away from fast food and stuff like that.
Developers is massive, gives us some insight, maybe some extra tips and tricks that hopefully some of our streamers have taken note of, because we're going to be critiquing their gameplay from now on.
I hope we can turn the music off.
This is where we get into the big chunk of the show. This is where we're going to have all these streamers out here playing the game. We're going to hop to various modes, and to join us to kind of break down the action, talk through the gameplay, we've got Joey Merc DeLuca and Anthony Nameless Wheeler.
Nameless. I met him.
I'm feeling amazing.
I met Nameless once, but he was with Call of Duty.
New Call of Duty is the most exciting part of the year for me. I love it.
This is, yeah, I'm with Ben. Like, it's cool to, as much as I'm excited to see the players play, it's really cool to hear from the developers kind of there. Because it's hard, man. Like, when we're talking to them, it's like you've been making these games for so many years. Like, finding the new things, the way to change things up, the new maps, the new guns. It was really cool to hear the insight from Joe and Jeff. But I got to feel we're going to be moving from where we are. But are you guys pumped to kind of see these guys give it a shot?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great players here. I can't wait to see how all the gun plays out, right? There's just so many new features that we're going to see here today. I just can't wait to see it live
fiance's oldest daughter here. I don't know if you guys want to see like the way our fiance and I do. We have our gaming area set up.
Right? That's what they called it.
Before we move to a new place.
I have a lot of those because am I the worst player on this desk?
Oh, probably. Maybe Ben.
What? Disrespect me like that.
I'd throw you under the bus.
But now we're going to see a wide array of maps. We're going to see a lot of different modes throughout the course of this. And basically, it's 36 streamers, and we'll kind of be hopping from POV to POV. So obviously, we're not going to be able to capture every single moment, but we're going to show off the best of the best. And like we said earlier, it's going to kind of end in that bracket play, which should be interesting.
I think we all have a idea of who the best players here are going to be, and they're the ones that we're probably going to spend the majority of our time watching.
True. Is there anyone that stands out?
Shroud, instantly.
It has to be Shroud.
Yeah.
Right?
He's just so good.
Also, we got Courage. We got Courage here. Want to give Courage some love.
I think Teep as well. Obviously, Teep, a former professional Call of Duty player. We're gonna be, seeing how he does in the 2 versus 2.
Well, it's not just going to be us. So we're going to be on the desk, kind of breaking down the action and talking through things. We've also got a couple folks with us to talk to the players and go through it. First up, it's going to be our pal Christine Leahy. How you doing?
I'm good, Maven. How are you?
I have a lot of energy, which is a problem sometimes. But I'm doing well.
Energy is never a bad thing. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm really excited to meet you, Kitty Plays. I haven't met you yet. I see you're having a lot of conversations.
I follow her on
with
Twitch.
your fans right now on your stream. What are you most excited about that you saw so far?
I think I'm excited for the Noob Tube to be back. That was one of my favorite guns that I played with in the past in like middle and high school. So it's definitely a nice thing to have to get those easy eliminations, and I'm looking forward to using it today.
We were just talking, actually. You play with a lot of celebrities, a lot of traditional sports athletes. Who has been the best player you faced off against in Call of Duty?
In Call of Duty? Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't played a lot of celebrities in Call of Duty yet. It's been in other games, but...
well, we got to get them on it. Who would you want to play in Call of Duty?
I think I would like to play against Baker Mayfield because I know he's a big COD, Halo, Fortnite fan, so I'd love to play against him in this game.
Got to get him over to Call of Duty. Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to see you play.
I'm excited to play. Thank you.
Maven, back to you.
Thank you so much, Christine. And Joe, you're a Browns fan, right?
I tell you what, I woke up today feeling dangerous. I love that answer. Baker Mayfield, come on down, because let me tell you, I would love to play some COD with you.
Well, it's probably been fun. You've got decades of failure, and now this is your year.
Yeah, people always ask me what's it like to wake up on Sundays, and I don't know. Well, this year, to see what all the excitement is about. But yeah, I mean, Baker, if you want to ever get carried in some COD, I'm your guy. I got you.
I'm not your guy, but I'll play with you. I'll be dual carried. But no, it's not only going to be Christine. We also have America's next top fitness model. We've got from the CWL is Douglas Sensor Martin. How you doing, Doug?
I'm doing well, Clint. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. But
that's great, man. That's awesome, man.
I feel bad for you because you got Jack down there, don't you?
No, listen, man. I'm with the one and only Courage JD right now. So Courage, you've never played Call of Duty multiplayer before. You played the 2v2. You never played this multiplayer yet. I know you're not a competitor. I know you're a streamer full time. You're an entertainer. But this is a big deal. This is a multiplayer reveal. I know you want to put on a show. What are your expectations?
Can't stand the cringe anymore.
Highest earnings in the last Call of Duty game. If you check esportsearnings.com, I am absolutely a competitor. First off, second, I'm ready to scream and get loud and have more people on Reddit saying I don't play COD. But guess what? I've been playing since Call of Duty 3, and I'm going to show you the best classes you can have today. Look at this. In the creator classes, you can put 5 attachments per weapon. Do you hear that right now?
5 attachments.
I have AR class. I have SMG class. I have a precision rifle, like a marksman type rifle. I have a run and gun AR, and then I have a sniper SMG overkill quick swap class, so that I can be the Pomage I want to be on the inside, but the Scumpy on the outside.
I just have one thing to say. I just literally 2 minutes ago, Jack was just helping out Doc over here with the settings. I don't know what he was doing. Something tells me that Jack has something up his sleeve. Clint, we're going to roll it back to you now.
I want to point out, Clint, before you take that, I actually helped Jack out with all of his classes.
Yeah, he had no idea what he was talking about.
No idea.
Wait, so all that bragging he just did to his classes, you did that?
Call it new tool weapon? Yeah, she did.
What do I use? I was like, don't worry, Jack.
Yeah, she did call it a weapon.
We got to play a little bit yesterday. We got a couple of secrets, and it looked like you were helping him out.
Little tips and tricks.
He had no idea what he was talking about.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's going to be us 4, and we're going to have Christine and Sensor also helping us out. So thanks, guys. They'll be kind of getting feedback, chatting with the players over the course of the day. But it's time to get into it. I want to get into the gameplay. It's going to be the 6v6 gameplay we're going to be hopping into. I'm excited for this because what we went back to 5v5 this year, we're now back to 6v6. I believe we're going to be starting out. It's going to be runner domination. So, I'm sure most people are familiar with domination, but just at the basic level, Joe, talk to me about domination.
Yeah, domination, 3 flags, A, B, and C. You get points by capturing those flags. The more flags you have, the more points you get, and well, you win the game by having all those flags and getting all of those points. So yeah, I mean, everybody knows domination, but you want to get as many flags as possible.
Well, hopefully shortly here, the guys will be loaded up, and we've got a lobby full. We've got a ton of different games going on. I think we're going to be hopping kind of pod to pod to just show off different players. Of course, Jack is just slugging energy drinks right now, hyping himself up. Jack, what are you saying now?
He's just screaming.
Hey, Ninja. Oh, guys, what do you guys think about this?
Jack just loves you.
Remember, this used to be my green screen.
He's too close to us right now.
We was at Walmart and I saw a Falcon flag,
so
just
in the back.
I had to put that up because I'm not going to use
he's
the green
sitting
screen
next to
anymore.
Doc, who is just basically
right
better than him in every way. Doc's what, like 6'8".
Also way taller than him.
Lean muscle.
Taller.
Handsome.
Yeah, Jack's looking like Frodo-esque next to him at the desk. Well, at least they're even sitting down though. He's got 12 inches on.
He's incredibly more talented.
I thought this shouldn't be the roast of Jack.
Oh, you're
okay?
right. You're right.
Jack's a fantastic player, but let's get to the action, right? That's what everyone is here for. Let's see some multiplayer 6v6 domination. I think the map they said was going to be runner. This is a map that we had a brief little bit of games on, not one.
We're going to run a couple maps, yeah.
But a couple of maps. It seems pretty good, Joe.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah, I mean, there's some doors I know that the devs were talking about that you can interact with, a couple of different buildings with, you know, again, it's not your typical 3-lane map that we're sort of used to these last couple of years. So it's going to be interesting to see the way the players sort of move on the map.
Well, kind of hearing the philosophy from a lot of the developers about those power
let's
positions.
go.
Would you have, Namos, would you have one big tip with the game slowing down, with it being power
so
position
no mini map,
from your
no mini map
Modern
at all.
Warfare? What would you recommend to a new player?
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you get to those power positions, just try to check every single angle, right? Like, you got to slow down in a game like this because those ARs are very powerful. So when you get to those power positions, just try to check every single angle and don't focus in so much on one spot.
I love that we're starting off with Shroud as well, by the way.
That's who I mean, if we can just watch Shroud all day, I'm cool with it. That does not bother me at all. The guy, you know he's going to put on a show.
Seriously, if I had 3 wishes and everyone says like superpowers, being rich, being famous, I just want to be able to play games like Shroud for 24 hours.
It's just one day.
That's one of your wishes?
Yes.
Not even just for 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I guess you're right. That's a really dumb wish because I guess I could just do it forever, couldn't I, Joe?
Yeah, you could.
Well, we'll check out the actions. He's, I think, just trying to get through his loadouts, trying to get his sensitivity all squares. The guys were just getting set up here as we were going through stuff with Joe and Jeff from Infinity Ward, but the game just looks so good, man. It was awesome hearing them kind of talk about the engines, everything that's been added to this from a lighting standpoint, from, what was it called, photography?
Sounds right.
You remember? I know, what was the word for that? Oh, I butchered the hell out of that. Photography?
We'll go with that.
Okay, I don't think that's right either.
Either way, it's insane, right?
I'm not the best with words, man.
Taking pictures of pretty much everything and putting it into the game. That's absolutely incredible. I'm pretty sure I saw TP as well.
TP's in this lobby.
He's on the other team, so we'll keep our eyes out for T. But Shroud finally started to heat up. He started off with a sniper rifle, adjusted his settings, said, nah, it's not for me. Let me change things out. And obviously now running the assault rifle.
Yeah, he's got the M4 in hand, and I know you and I were having a lot of fun with this M4. Yes. I mean, a Call of Duty classic, right? Just such a good assault rifle at any range that you want to use it. And I mean, we were talking about the benchmark, all the different attachments that you can have. Shroud's got a couple on here.
TP just killed Shroud. That's now the highlight of TP's career.
And what's cool is when I saw Shroud enter that building, there was a ledge there, and it gave him the option to mount his weapon.
So far?
So now you can mount your
actual
AR,
gameplay,
and it'll reduce that recoil, and you can kind of just lock down one lane with your AR mounted. So it's kind of a new thing they added to COD that we've never really seen before on your main AR that you can do.
I think that's going to stress really good tactical and lethal use. If you've got a solid player set up in a power position like that, it's going to be bananas to deal with.
And of course, let's not forget, at any point, you can, hit start, go to your classes, and customize it in the game. So if there's, a certain player in a certain power position you want to try and get rid of, well, you can very quickly, if you wanted to, for example, put a sniper scope on an assault rifle,
you can
turn
customize the weapons
during
gameplay.
There's just so much customization in this game, and I'm a big AR guy, especially in Modern Warfare games. I love using assault rifles, and, to change something like an M4 into a burst gun, I just think it's so amazing and awesome that you have that ability.
Well, I think one of the big things that everyone continues to talk about, there's going to be different power positions, and how do you get those players out of their power positions? And maybe one weapon with one customization doesn't work, but you continue to make those changes. So we'll see how the players continue to work on it. We'll see what adjustments they're making.
I think, Ben, you were pointing to me that, what was this? Streak earned by Skadoodle?
Skadoodle, he's already earned himself 1 streak. He has the Juggernaut selected, hasn't earned that yet. I am curious to see if anyone today actually earns that.
Looks okay.
Because I know, Joe, your first game, you sat down and I was like, oh, you know, I get to be on Joe's team. Juggernaut first game. I was like,
Noah J just destroyed Skadoodle.
Well, and I'm actually excited to see Sky when he pulls out that sniper, right? I mean, he has the nickname American Sniper for a reason, has the AK right now, but we know when this guy gets a scope in his hands, he's gonna make some plays.
A couple more streaks available as well. So things starting to heat up. Here is Jericho. Of course, he's picking up a couple kills. And again, I do want to reiterate, cross-platform. Even here at the multiplayer reveal, a couple guys going to be on PC, a couple guys on console.
So we just saw something cool out of Jericho. He just changed
his
gun.
What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about the
Unfortunately, doesn't get that kill, but I like the idea of going into close quarters combat and switching to the full auto and try to spray him down.
Well, the game is flipped on its head a little bit. They had a 3-cap there for a moment, which really allowed them to push out a massive lead.
I think that'd be a good thing.
Quickly, the red team get back in control, but we'll stick with Jericho's POV. I want to see if these streaks start to come into play. But Jericho, obviously, he has been a long-standing community member in Call of Duty since really the dawn of time, Ben.
Oh, yeah, he's been playing for a very, very long time. Of course, a fantastic content creator as well. It's always good to see him and see what he can try and bring to the table here. But you can see okay. Jericho, try to gas you up. Come on, man.
That's an MP7, man, right? You run into those doorways, you see that MP7 submachine gun.
Well, you were the guy kind of running and gunning because we were playing yesterday with, like, what, it was like 10 of us. And I'm mostly an AR guy because I'm slow. And you were flying around smoking me. Is that what it was, the MP7 you were using?
No, MP5.
It was MP5. Okay.
Yeah, I think the MP5 is the weapon I had most fun with. I'll give you some tips before the beta starts in September. But yeah, the MP5, another Call of Duty classic.
Look at you keeping him close to your chest.
Man, you know, just saying.
What was the burst gun that you obliterated me with a couple times?
It was when he was.
I thought I got sniped, man. I just got ripped off the map.
It's the class I told Jack to put on. So when we get to one of Jack's games, I'll kind of talk you through it. But there's a couple of weapons which I've kind of tested out because naturally, you know, you get your hands on a new Call of Duty for the first time. Like
you got a question, please.
You're gonna try everything. Yeah,
what's the question, Joel? What's up? Welcome to the stream.
There's a couple of guns where I think, you know, come up in beta. Gonna be pretty powerful.
What's cross-platform?
You know, talking about that MP5
cross-platform
that Joe was using, I
when you're
remember
in the lobby and everyone in the lobby is on a different platform. So it might be a person playing on a computer, someone playing on the Xbox, somebody playing on the PlayStation 4, all in the lobby. So right now, the way Call of Duty is right now is it's when you're in the lobby, you're only going against PlayStation players. But in this Call of Duty, the person you're going against might be an Xbox player or he might be a PC player. That's what cross-platform is. Bringing all the platforms together to play in one lobby.
I think he said it in rehearsals yesterday, but I was talking to Jeff at
where
he said, you know, he's like a big MMO, like an RPG fan. He likes skill trees.
Why you say hell no?
It's kind of what they were
Why
thinking of with Gunsmith.
Of course, PC players do have kind of an advantage.
Pieces that you would use in other games, and yeah, I was going through it, and I was
looking
at the
different
stops, different borders. Well, if I do this, I have
like
to sprint slower,
and
with a
mouse like this,
I was going through it.
It's so accurate.
Just the amount of
potential there is can be a lot more accurate.
Well, we're just so used to, like, you know, what does a grip do, right? Reduces recoil, lets you aim in a little bit quicker, but as you say, there's different stocks now that might help you, you know, zoom in a little bit quicker, but it'll slow you down.
So far, Joel, there's no mini-map as you can see. There's no more mini-map in Call of Duty.
Players want to play with each weapon.
Yeah, there was like a stock, and
you can put like 5 attachments on the weapon, and each weapon has like 30 to 60 attachments.
You know, I enjoyed sort of
the most attachments
creating my class,
customizable you can do to a weapon, and then you Call of Duty so far. What else have they said?
Okay, so on this map,
kill streaks, no score streaks.
One of the keys, just to kind of reiterate, is
you can customize the weapon during the game. So let's say you start off the match and you have your class set up a certain way. You can press pause and then change it in the game. We have never had that either. It was either what class you did before the match, but during match you can also change your weapon as well.
TP's going off right now. Did you guys see that?
So what are his stats?
17 and 5 from team.
I just can't play with Nameless again. The guy started at 9-0 yesterday. How many times do we hear about it throughout the course of the night?
We talk about
it's because you were attacking me, so I had to. You kept killing me.
I think, Clint, one thing you can sort of, from your own personal experience with
that's
TP,
a good idea, then, Joe, to lock the frames at 60. Because PC players can be like 100-something frames. Looks like Battlefield.
Full-time base.
Right.
It does have a Battlefield
He's a
realish.
completely selfish player.
Like
And he's likely
Battlefield
allowing
4.
the other 5 members to run in front of him.
Kinda
Ryan
like,
picks up the kills. And
I'm going to be honest. What's funny about that?
Kind of like
That's
this
his
game.
entire
Right
career.
here.
So when he stopped playing, he's like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore.
It does remind me a lot of Battlefield 4.
And I can't blame him.
Yeah, he was the guy sprinting in first for a decade. He deserves.
You know what? Joel is actually right. And the more I look at it,
since he is one of the
I
greatest
see
Call of Duty
Battlefield
players
4
of all time.
Absolutely bad.
Jack, why are
It
you
looks
looking
like
at me and not the
Battlefield 4.
screen, dude? You getting smoked?
He doesn't know what you're saying.
He looks frustrated.
I think he knew what you were saying.
He has no idea.
No, I think he's hungry.
But that no
What's the
mini
score?
map thing,
157,
like I remember I was
125.
watching you play yesterday.
Tight one early.
And you guys were going up against a lot of guys that were camping and head glitching.
Didn't try out yesterday. We got
Imagine now there's no mini map.
I was actually very curious.
There's
I think I
no
tried it for
mini
like
map
one
at
life
all,
and didn't like
Joel.
it, but
So
low
even if
recoil,
somebody
but a
uses,
submachine gun, you're very quick with
okay,
it.
so
Speaking of TB,
there's the mini map.
and he gets that field upgrade if he wants
So it looks
to
like when
use
you
it, but
call
just
in a
protect and
UAV,
see, he knows that they're very close from winning
That's the
this
only
game.
time you get mini map.
Just kind of going back to his inner competitive self.
That's the first time we've seen a mini map this whole string so far.
That's what.
So
I think for some of these guys, we had what a lot of YouTubers that came in the other day to get content and play the game again. So for some of the streamers, I think it's their first time hands-on. So if you see them earn some streaks, maybe some field upgrades, and not bring them into play yet, I think they're all kind of learning. It's just their first time through. So I'm sure we'll see a lot more. Is now we'll see. I think a cruise missile just got earned, almost smokes another one, but Skadoodle.
One thing we haven't seen yet are the eliminations. Right, the execution style stuff that you can do. We didn't see it earlier on. I'm curious to see if maybe we get that at any point.
It's embarrassing. Somebody's got to do it. Wait, Myth is on a 5 streak. Is that just what popped up at the top right?
I think so.
Oh yeah, Myth. He's right in front of me. He is. Look how fast his fingers are moving. This guy's turned.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody's hands move that quick.
Doug's behind him, just having a great time watching him.
Doug's like mind blown.
I'm mind blown.
That's
what
crazy.
is
It's a shotgun.
Skadoodle shuts him down. Close game, 185, 147. Be coming to an end relatively soon, but for the most part, it looks as if the blue team should be able to secure the W.
I wonder if he's going to call these streaks in. He's got that cruise missile.
Oh, Myth just called it a cluster strike, so somebody's probably about to get
Hey,
pounded.
this honestly makes you want to play some Battlefield 4 because it reminds me so much of Battlefield 4.
What were they talking about? I believe, again, I think this was talked about yesterday when you and I were just sitting down with the devs, but some of the kill streaks that are in,
Why
you
does
have
this
to
look so
actually
much
have a
like
line of sight
Battlefield
to use
4?
them.
I
So it's
gotta
not like,
put it
think
out
of like
there.
our
Hold on,
Hurricane where
man.
you have the Hellstorm, you have the Lightning Strike, you can just pull that in wherever you want. Some of the kill streaks now, you have to have line of sight on enemy to actually use them.
Huh. Yeah, that was
So I think it's interesting because you need to get to that, like, power position. It's not. You're not going to call it in off spawn. Like you have to get to like a good angle.
Yeah, basically have like a laser target that you need to just kind of put your laser out and be like, all right, this is where I want to drop my.
Team. All right, team. I think you got a hit marker there.
That's right. Oh, it is team.
Oh, it is. He knows. All right, Mr. Polchow.
I think Stroud also had the same gun, and he missed his shot. And Teep said, you know what? I'm taking you down.
Call of Duty World Champion.
Close game, man.
It's not like the Tiger Woods right there.
Oh, we are going to be having some fun. That is just one of our mini matches that are going to come here today. And so far, I think we're all just excited. I mean, for us, I know we just want to get hands-on with it. We have to wait for the open beta coming in, September? But, Ben.
I can't wait. You made a joke at the very beginning. You're like, yeah, we're probably going to be no life in the beta.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is exactly what I'm going to be
doing. I want to play 20v20.
Is this our squad?
That's
we're
later
going to see it, I think, that's right before the 2v2.
I can't wait to watch 20v20.
I mean, that's the most we've ever had, right?
Yeah. Ground War was previously what? It was 18, I think it maxed out at. I mean, now we have 20v20. I mean, that's...
I don't even know what to expect from that.
If you get streaks in a 20v20 game mode, oh my lord.
You got like a 7-man.
It does look like Battlefield, right, Hitman?
Right now, squads just locking down different lanes.
You get a chopper gunner, imagine the kill feed.
Yeah.
It'd be insane.
All right, well, before we get into more action, we're going to have more matches to come. I believe we do have Sensor on the floor with an interview. Douglas, take it away, pal.
Hey, thanks, Clint. So, I'm standing here right now with Myth, the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, no pun intended. I'm watching him play this game for the first time. He started off a little bit slow. You started popping off the end.
Yeah.
What are your first initial thoughts on this game?
It's a lot of fun. I think that so the class that I created, I could already see how the dynamics you could create for yourself with choosing different things. And so like my class was very much run and gun. I had the stim as well, so I was able to sort of just heal myself on the go if I got shot, and that allowed for a lot of just really good aggression. And as I got into the swing of it, like later into the game, I was like, okay, I know the rhythm. I'm ready to attack.
Yeah, you were getting more excited at first. You're like, oh no, I'm not playing well. Oh no, guys, don't make fun of me. Like, I know there's a lot of pressure, but no, you started getting the rhythm into it. You started playing really well. You got a world champion on your team, carrying you guys to the win. I just wanted to know, like, I'm jealous, man. I want to be on the floor right now playing this game, and I'm sitting here watching you, so I'm living through you right now. You played well. You guys got the first win. I want to bring it back to the desk, back to Clint.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think we were watching, like, Shroud or Teep's POV. I saw Myth pop up at the 5-shooter. I saw him before this. I was like, if you put a lot of time into cutting the pass, he's like, yeah, I'm going to fry. I was like, oh, okay, all right. And
well, at least he's confident.
Yeah, no, he absolutely was.
I love that.
We've got an interview with Sensor, and then I think our next one, I believe we have Christine Leahy, and she's going to be with Teepee. Now, Christine, I need you to ask Teepee right away. I play with him every single day. Can you ask him what it's like to play with someone such as myself?
Oh, God.
What it's like to play with you?
Yes.
Well, let me ask him. Teepee, what is it like to play with Maven? Maven wants me to ask you this question.
Playing with Maven has really fine-tuned me into the player that I am today. Playing with him, it makes my life a lot more difficult. So if you really want to get better at Call of Duty in general, or probably any game, play with that bald man over there.
Oh, that was really sweet. I was expecting some trash talking, but that was really nice. Because
I love you.
We just came from Sensor, who I know has a really sore spot, you know, because of you. You beat him in 2014.
Right.
So there was that.
I mean, Doug's a great guy, great player, but, you know, I got a lot of chips on the guy, so. A lot of championships in COD. So
there's the trash talking I was looking for. It looked like you guys were having a lot of fun with this one. You had an awesome game. Why was that?
Honestly, I just kind of figured out how the domination spawns pretty quickly on that map. When I got the UAV, the main map was up. I knew exactly where people were going, and I was just kind of shooting a lot of people in the back and in the side and stuff. And then when it came to like my weapon selections, I read through a lot of the attachments to see what kind of play style I wanted to go for. So I think I had the edge there.
I got to ask you, too, you're one of the best Call of Duty players out there. What do you think of the new game?
It's amazing so far. This build feels extremely smooth. I'm having a blast. That first map we played was a lot of fun. And, man, that sniper rifle was feeling pretty good there, or the marksman rifle, actually. So I'm having a good time.
All right, Maven, back to you.
Thank you so much. More action. So we got one 6v6 in. I thought TB was going to cook my ass. I thought he was going to roast me to no end.
Oh, he was okay. It was pretty.
He just went off.
I mean, you're his trainer, right? Like you're the reason he's in the shape that he is, right?
Yeah. That's what if only I could help him in the coaching department. But we're gonna. I'm kidding. It was just a joke. We are going to continue moving through. That was one of our, I believe we're doing 4 6v6 games. So that was just one. We have a ton more action to come. Are we hopping through various maps? You guys can see some of the different looks. So I think one of the most important things to players, whether you're coming from a competitive background, pub background, it's the maps, right? Like, you have fan favorites from the past. You always have high expectations coming into the next game. So I think it's really cool to showcase some of these different maps, Ben.
I think the key is, as well, from what the guys in the studio were saying, is they're just a little bit different. The way they've been created this year is more kind of based off the realism.
Yeah, and I was talking to Jeff, right, who you guys had up here, and he was part of the team that made, like, Crash and Backfire.
Wait, seriously?
All the old Modern Warfare 2
so some of your favorite maps.
Some of the favorite maps was that guy up
and
here.
He just came back to the team for this title, right?
Right, yeah. So this is a guy that,
we're in good hands.
He creates some Call of Duty classics.
That makes me even more excited than I already was. But this will be the next map, and we're on with the 6'8" gaming phenom
unit.
Dr. Disrespect.
I'm expecting big things from Doug.
I don't know how he plays with those shades on. I don't understand.
It's impressive.
What do you mean?
They're not real. They're
He's
CGI.
got like some infrared technology. He's talked about it before. Like, come on, man.
Good point.
So what do you guys think so far?
You're right,
I mean,
you're right.
Oh, he's behind a couple.
Okay. I'm sure about accuracy like that, though.
I guess it's difficult to really gauge the game.
Be judging people's accuracy.
Just watch it this way.
Definitely can.
It's a lot better when you get your hands on. You can actually play it. So it's like
now we're lying up here.
I really can't give it a rating right now. Right now, as I look at it, I don't see Call of Duty. I see Battlefield.
I'm okay with that. I've accepted it.
Ooh, nice
all right.
Doc on Hutch.
And the best part is Hutch just sat right in front of his That was just one of those like,
sorry, Hutch.
That wasn't pretty.
He can't hear you.
Well, to be fair, Hutch did get put in last second. I think he had to fill in for someone, so he got here last minute. Maybe he's just warming up, getting into the flow.
Oh, Jack's also in this game.
So Jack's got the MP5. So when we go to Jack's point of view, that'll be a lot of fun to see how he plays with that MP5, because I'm telling you, that thing is nasty.
It's really powerful. I know you two.
You put that stock on there, you can strafe so fast, and it just looks insane from the other player's point of view. And
I just realized
be so quick with MP5. It's awesome.
Is Kataga and Jack on the same team? I'm pretty sure they are. That's going to be a pretty powerful team with Duck as well. That team's going to be very strong. Very strong. Again, you talked about it a little bit, man, but the 2v2 exhibition towards the end of the day, I'm very excited to see who comes out on top for that 2v2. It's going to be really.
Well, I saw the bracket for just a second. I think I saw a couple of the teams, but if it is where people are sitting together, it'll be interesting. I think Shroud and Skadoodle are sat next to each other in a pod.
Boy. You got Duck and Jack.
Yeah, so if that's how it works out, I'm not sure if it's randomized or how to play out.
Here's the MP5, right? This is the gun that you guys were talking about, and just how strong this really is.
It reminds me all the way back to Call of Duty 4. That MP5 was kind of the main sub that a lot of people like to use, and that's one of my favorite submachine guns of all time.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you see those stopping power rounds right there. Like that just comes through with a nice little hip fire for Jack. But it just feels like when I used it, it was good from like short to medium range, right? Like I know a lot of sub players are looking for one of those slower rate of fire weapons
salty.
that you can have a nice fight with an assault rifle from medium range.
Who's in the chat? Yo, Mr. Moore, let me know if you're in the chat. If you're in the chat,
so you can change it up, right? Depending on
let me know if you're in the chat, Mr. Moore. Twitch is salty as shit right now.
A lot of customization options to make it how you want.
Oh my God!
You talked a little bit about the stopping power ammo. That's of course the field upgrade.
Yep.
Couple of choices there. So.
Oh, it's absurd. I think what was it yesterday? I think Nameless got first shot at me, and I just popped the stopping power, and he goes, "What just killed me?" I just smoked him. So that'll definitely have an influence on the map. That nade is in your back pocket, pal.
Unlucky. Close.
It's okay. He's gonna spawn up with 2 missiles in his kill streak, so maybe see him call these in, and the stopping power rounds available now as well. Seems like that's kind of a favorite for that.
The stopping power rounds?
Yeah.
They're just really strong.
Yeah,
the shield's pretty good too. A lot of powerful field upgrades, that's for sure. It's funny seeing players when they get their streaks. It's almost as if they're so tunnel vision. They're just on. Let me just play the game. Let me just focus in. Let me try and get a couple kills. Don't forget that you have them.
Oh, shot was shaky, but finally they got
Twitch
the headshot. Yeah, I need to see
his verified partner badge away from his Twitch channel. Damn, the salt is real.
Mikola, what is this? A triple, I think, just came in.
The salt is real. Twitch is mad. Twitch is in their feelings.
Decent amount. Nameless, I know you were just
How you gonna remove this man's badge?
Yeah,
because he says he's gonna stream on another platform.
I got up top and I just didn't move.
Salty Twitch, why you? Come on, Twitch. Come on, Twitch.
What game mode did we play on? I think we played on, what was it?
Why you being salty, man?
When we played this?
That man made you a lot of money, okay? He made you a lot of money. That's fucked up.
12-3 right now going on.
Honestly, as soon as I saw Guitar was going to be here,
I'm going to Ninja's Twitch right now. Hold on. I gotta go to his
Twitch. Former competitive Call of
Duty guy. I gotta see this shit for real. Did they really take away this man's badge?
He's always been really good at, like, I don't know, just like finding power positions early on, like putting up big numbers. He was always a flashy player. Like
that's gotta be crazy.
I got right? It still is. Like he's just so flashy. He knows how to put up numbers.
It's something that might just play to his ability, especially with it being kill streaks now.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. You just post up and he can get a ton of kills for you in not a lot of time. That's when you can expect him to rain down and dominate. Basically, kind of what we saw from TP in game 1 is almost what you'd expect to see from Kataga here in game 2.
Wow, they did.
What were they hit with at the HUD? Is
maybe a counter UAV?
It could be. Yeah, that makes sense.
They really took away this man's badge.
Yeah, here's Kataga. This is what I want to see. What is he rocking?
He's got the M4.
Okay.
We've seen a lot of M4.
Wow, dude, I thought that was clickbait.
Seems like your starter kind of comfort.
They really took this man's badge away from him that fast.
You know what you're going to get out of there, too.
Twitch.
So very good.
There is that, too. That is very true. And, of course, you can always go over to the customize things up a little bit. But here is Kataga's perspective. That's his second kill in a row. And what streaks did he put on? It looks like he's gone pretty high here. He's not going low. The radar is going to be the first, but as he progresses through, honestly,
I didn't see that coming.
A ton of kills come
through. And we see he picks up that personal radar, and that's what TP was talking about in that interview, is that he had that on, and he would go on like a 3-4 kill streak. He'd call on that personal radar, and that mini-map would pop up and notify you where things were on the map.
And hey, just one quick reminder while we're in the middle of this game, because we've been talking a lot about the beta. Just to clarify, you have to pre-order for early access to get to the open beta. So pre-order now. We talked about the Dark Edition being available in case you missed that earlier, the night vision goggles, all the crazy stuff that comes with that, the skins in-game.
Limited, right, as well?
Yes. So, and I believe you can do that at CallOfDuty.com. So get your pre-order if you want to be part of the open beta, if you want to play against
I already
group here up
pre-ordered
on
the
the
game
desk. You've got the chance to do that, as well as
so
a
I
lot
gotta
of these
see if,
streamers. I'm sure they're going to be putting in time with the beta. But we are in our second map of our 4 6v6s that are going to be played. Then we have the 10v10, the 20v20, the 2v2 gunfight bracket that's going to go down. So a ton of action. I know there's been a public cry to see a lot more of multiplayer. You got, what, a 3-minute trailer of all the action. You get 3 or so hours of gameplay today. So much to show.
20-4. Uncontested, man.
The 20 of their 75.
20 and 10. He got 4 assists. He died 10 times.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Jack went 19 and 3.
Yeah, it's actually Courage who's.
All right, Jack.
Yeah.
The Doc had 4 kills. I was expecting.
So I'm gonna stop it in about 7 minutes.
4.
Because my kids get out of school. It's already 2:12.
That's all right.
So I want to make sure I get to the school because I gotta go to 3 different schools to pick up all 3 of them today. So I want to definitely get a head start at the first school, so I'm not there like super late. Let me know what you guys think about it, man.
Playing for the win.
Well, they got the win, so.
Yeah, so what we've seen Domination, we've now seen TDM. We'll keep kind of ripping through these, but so far it's been awesome to see some of the gameplay, the different guns these guys are using. I'm hoping as we get further into this, we'll see more of the field upgrades being used. Sorry, the field orders being used. A lot more of the kill streaks as guys sort of get comfortable with the controls and get into it.
It's interesting seeing a lot of these players who we kind of know so much. You know, you watch a lot of these guys' streams. You know their individual play styles and just how the game can really adapt to whatever your play style is. Like, for example, you guys, you're always going to be more aggressive than me and Clip, but the game works both ways.
Yeah, I think that too, and then how they sort of change their weapons as time goes on, right? Right now, people are just trying to put on a show, like Jack's doing with the MP5, like Yotaga is doing with the M4. As you know, we get into an hour or so, they're going to try out the different snipers, try out all these different crazy weapon attachments. It's going to be fun, because you know later on that's what they're going to try to do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joe. But before we do hop into the next 6v6, we've got Christine Leahy on the floor with Miss Vixen.
Yes, I have Miss Vixen here. So I was just standing here watching you play. I think you might be one of the most vocal players out here. Does that help you in your game?
Relieve stress in a way. You know, you just got to be vocal about it, communicate with your team, obviously. So yeah, it helps a lot.
So you told me this game wasn't exactly your best, but the one before was great. Yeah. What do you think of the game so far?
I actually really love it. I like my favorite thing is probably the decoys in there. They brought that in there, so it's easy to distract the enemy. They think that you're in one area and then you just rotate around them. So it helps being like more strategic and going around the map. So, but there's a few other like perks in there that I'm still like trying to tweak and figure out how to use them with certain guns. But so far, I love it.
Okay, so this next one, then you're going to win.
I got this. Search and Destroy, I was awesome. Team Deathmatch was a little bit of a struggle because I didn't know the map, but this next one I'm for sure going to dominate.
I have faith in you. Maven, back over to you.
Thank you so much. All right, so awesome to hear. I know I am very, very vocal, and it is.
I'm gonna stop it here.
When I'm playing,
it's
I wanna
so
scream,
far.
I want to get loud. I want to let people know I dominated them, and when I get killed, there's an excuse every single time that I like that. But no, I like that. You got to have some passion, man.
So far, it's okay. I don't like the fact that the mini map was taken completely out of the game, and the only way you can see mini map is by getting the UAV, and so that's just something to get used to. I like the fact that you can customize the weapon. I like that fact you can customize the weapon so much. I really do like that fact. The maps look good. I like the realism of it. To me, it doesn't look like Call of Duty anymore. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing, but it doesn't look like Call of Duty at all. Like, it reminds me, like we were saying earlier in chat, it reminds me of Battlefield 4. If you've ever played Battlefield 4, this is exactly what it looks like an updated Battlefield 4. We didn't really get to see no score streaks. I didn't really see nobody really calling it score streaks. I really can't talk about that. Free DLC. More likely the weapons, we're gonna have to pay for weapons. But I'll save my judgment till the beta. I won't say that it looks like a bad game. It looks Dr. Disrespect. Oh Lord, Dr. Disrespect is hold on. We gotta pull up Dr. Disrespect. Hold on. What are you gonna say?
I need to shake your hand, man.
Finally, good to see you in person and meet you in person. You as well. Big fan as well.
Yeah. So I was watching you, man, and I have to be honest, dude. I wasn't too impressed. I just had to be blunt. Like, I wasn't really seeing many good things for me to talk about right now. What was going through your mind on that last map?
I was closing my eyes. It's something I do. I challenged myself internally to see if I can really visualize the game without even having to look at it, right? I went 2-8. It didn't work.
What?
I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna change next game. I've got the right grips on the right weapons, and I'm attacking hammers. I'm attacking to all these guys that are screaming and yelling across the entire room, and it's making me sick. Got it?
We appreciate your time, Doc. Thank you. Back to you, Clint.
That was intense.
I thought it was 4. I gave him 2 extra kills. Either way.
Oh my God. Yo, you see the way Doc looked at him? Doc was like, you disrespectful son bitch. I'm 2-time. No, I'm saying I'm 2 times. 2-time video game champion of the world. You gonna bring your punk ass over here telling me you not impressed? Oh, no, Doc wanted to slap him. The Doc's pimp hand was like this, you disrespectful bitch. Anyway, man, let me get ready to get out of here and pick up these kids from school, man, because I know today's going to be the first day of picking up kids from school, so the traffic is probably going to be crazy. I got to go to 3 different schools, so yeah, wish me luck with the traffic. And I will come back, man. I'm going to log into my Mixer, log into my Facebook game and get those things ready to be on tonight, rocking out with some Apex Legends. Hopefully you guys come by. Hopefully you guys follow me over to join to these other 2 platforms, man. Love you. I will see you guys later. Be safe. I'm out of here, man.